What is it like to go in a world that sees you differently? Where everyone treats you like an alien? Where acceptance is a distant dream? This is what the children with autism face in their day-to-day life in our society. Children with autism are different from what most people call normal. But since when was being different considered a bad thing? Each of us is different from one another. We have our own abilities and weaknesses. Then, does that mean we should avoid one another? Somehow, our society treats people who are different with the view that we must fix them.
Well, when I came to know that my child has autism, it was like everything shattered for me. Because when you are expecting a child, it's not just the baby, it's the whole life, your own life that you're planning, the life of the child and everything. And for me, it was not once, it was twice, because I have 2 kids with autism. The biggest challenge is acceptance from the society.
As far as any kind of social discrimination is concerned, I feel blessed to say that I've really not faced too much of it. If they do ask questions that hurt, it's because they are not aware. And every time something like that happens, I perceive it, I look at it as a way to increase awareness about autism.
My biggest, challenge was that my son really struggled with social issues. Also, I think a lot of judgment from a lot of people that I was not a good mother. I didn't give them social skills and my child was just naughty and I didn't know how to discipline and I was overprotective. Some said I didn't care, so all sorts of things that I got to do.
My brother is George, he's elder to me. I knew he has autism, but what is autism, I didn't know it. Like the younger ones used to feel that he gets more attention from the parents, but my parents would tell us that he is special and he has more needs than you.
Autism being a developmental disorder causes impairment in social skills, communicative skills, sensory development, repetitive behaviors, and restricted interest.
Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder. It's a neurological disorder. At the moment, the current research indicates that it has a genetic basis. It has multiple genes are involved in causing autism. We know for a fact that there are several genes which are involved, and we've been able to isolate which genes are involved, but we do not have conclusive evidence to say which of them causes autism. So it's a little bit unclear. Research is still on. And because we don't know what causes it, right now we don't have any preventive measures that we can take. At the same time, there is no cure in terms of medical cure that we have for autism right now. The way we work through it is to help the child develop his or her skill set. Anybody who's well experienced will be able to diagnose a child or at least reasonably screen or flag the child at the age of 18 months also, and that's as early as that. The current international statistics say that 1 in 100 children have autism, and it's like the 3rd most common disorder amongst children in India, in not just India, internationally.
A combination of a good school and parent training is the best known treatment.
Every child in the school has what we call an individualized educational program, because every child with autism is different. But the most important thing is that the support, the basic structure that they all need is visual support for them. So you find when you go to the classes, you will find a lot of picture timetables known as schedules. That means structuring time. So the child comes in the morning and he sees his timetable and the child knows exactly what's going to happen and in what order. For children with autism, sensory integration therapy, which is occupational therapy, is very, very important, because people with autism, they do not interpret what they see, what they hear, what they feel the way we do. The way they relate to their own bodies is very, very different. And this is a therapy which puts all their senses together. So, you'll find children in the ball pool, on the trampoline. These are a lot of activities and very specific inputs that the sensory integration therapist gives in terms of body pressures, calming the body or alerting the body depending on the need of the child. There is a senior section and an adolescent section. So there is vocational work happening. There are some children who would be doing more of work that is done in a kind of a sheltered workshop. So they are making stringing beads, making necklaces, and doing other kinds of things which are simpler. A child at the age of 20 saying that I am going to a school. It has to be a workshop. It has to be work at that age.
The society has to therefore develop attitudes that will permit people with autism to participate in community life and to be accepted. And it's not just society at large, it starts at home.
As for the new law that is being written currently, that is for the rights of all persons with disabilities, and that will include autism and all other disabilities. And in this law, it not only looks at non-discrimination, it also looks at the legal capacity of persons with disabilities, which means that persons with disabilities are seen as equal before the law. It looks at education, employment, healthcare, early intervention, participation in civil and political activities, and all socio-economic activities as well.
I would like to convey only one thing, that they're not abnormal children. It's just that their wiring is different and they look at it from a different perspective, but they're all created in the image of God. I think we need to see them as one of us rather than having a mentality of us and them.
One of the things for all of us to remember is that at the end of the day, it's a child. The autism comes much later. And if we can love and respect the child for what he or she is, that's the most important thing. And we can still learn to love them unconditionally, with or without their autism.
Can we actively support and encourage autistic children to express their own unique abilities and gifts? To truly love them as they are? To treat autistic children the way we treat all children? What we need is for someone to come to our ear and say, "You are you and I love you." To be accepted as we are. That is the beginning and the end of life.